Welcome to Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast featuring WVU football players and coaches during Spring Practice 2022. Presented by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. Here are your hosts, Amanda Mazey and Dale Wolfley.
Welcome to the video podcast of Climbing the Mountain, sponsored by Encova Insurance and Country Roads Trust. I'm Amanda Mazey with Dale Wolfley. And Wolf, this week we're talking more offensive line, and quarterbacks.
Offensive line and quarterbacks, with two favorite positions, and you got head coach, assistant head coach Matt Moore, and offensive line coach. So a lot of fun, a lot of big guys, a lot of beef eating.
One thing that we've noticed about spring practice so far and talking to these athletes, a lot of positivity surrounding this. Kind of refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, and I think there's a reason behind it. I think these guys all like each other, and they're showing it in the podcast. I think you're going to see a lot of it this spring and continuing on into the season.
All right, so this is the second of 6 episodes of Climbing the Mountain. We're so excited that you are joining us for this. We want to give a big shout out to Austin Michaels, our video editor, and Ross Justice, our audio technician, for making sure this all looks and sounds great, as good as we can look, right?
Well, absolutely. Well, you
look better than I do.
I was going with you, but at least we can sound good too.
That's right.
And of course, the players do a great job as well. So everybody, kudos so far. Good job.
That's right. And you can find Country Roads Trust on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Again, find us at countryroadstrust.com. And let's get this started. Coming up after the break, we are going to be joined by offensive line coach Matt Moore. Stick around. This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to Climbing the Mountain. I'm Amanda Mazey with Dale Wolfley. And Dale, we've got the offensive line coach here, Matt Moore. Coach Moore, thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate you guys having me on today.
All right, talking spring football practice. My first question to you is a two-parter. Finish this sentence. My biggest frustration last year was?
Run game.
The thing I most want to work on this year and I'm looking forward to is?
Run game.
All right, there you go.
I could see that you committed to the run game in the practices already. So I could see you guys are laying it down already, Coach. And with that, 3 practices in, where's your installation at right now?
So we've been through, we're a 3-day installation offense. So naturally, we've been through all 3 days of installation, heavy outside zone early. And really from run game, we're outside zone, inside zone, counter. And then we come back and add on to each one of those starting today. We've got most of everything in, the basics in, protection, 5-man protection, 6-man protection, slide protection, play action protection, all that stuff is in. And really what you do is you come back around the next time and you start adding your tags to it, adding your fluff to it. But really we have been just really focusing on the fundamentals of the run game. And, we were much improved second half of the season. Early in the season, it was very frustrating. And then the second half of the season, I felt like we were starting to shine, starting to hold on our blocks a little longer, started doing a better job of our mic IDs and playing together. And then really I've seen us start off this spring. It's been really pleasing this spring to see us really, starting back at that point. I wanted to make sure we didn't start back at the beginning of the season. And I think we're picking up where we left off.
You have the luxury of having all of your starters back. How much of a difference does that make?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And these guys didn't play together at all before the season last year. Having these guys back is just a comfort level for them. And we're trying to, our biggest thing is develop depth behind them, take those guys to a different level, but then develop depth behind them and they can push them. And that's the big thing is going through spring practice. You want somebody that can push them. Now, obviously, I got a couple positions where I wish I had somebody to push those guys, but they're kind of at a level. But, the good thing is those guys are at the level where they're wanting to practice to be the best and not just practice to be the best on our field, but be the best in the conference, to be best in the nation.
Yeah, man, as of right now, do you feel the offensive line is the strong point of this new offense and this whole brand new offense coming in?
I say we are definitely the most comfortable because we do have everybody back. We got a new quarterback, new quarterbacks. So, that position is not as firm. Running back, I think we're really talented. I like what we see. But with Letty being gone, that's a guy that got 90% of the reps for the past 3 years. So there is some inconsistencies there, but I see some really good stuff happening. So I would say we're definitely the most comfortable. We are, and, when you're most comfortable there, it makes everything else look a little better. So I don't know about the best, just because it's my position. I'm not going to sit here and say that, but I do feel like we are the most comfortable and have been the most consistent over the first 3 days.
You have All-American center Zach Frazier coming back. Talk about his role and his importance in that offensive line.
That's where it all starts. It all starts at that center position. He is the quarterback of the offensive line. He has got to start the point to where everybody starts from. And he does a great job of studying film. He's very knowledgeable of the game. He's a smart player. And then on top of that, he has a very high pain threshold. He pushes himself in workouts. He pushes himself on the field. He does a really good job. He's very coachable. He does a lot of things where he sets the standard for everybody else on the field from an O-line standpoint. And it's one of those things where I've never had to really press him for that. That's just how he's built. So it's been really nice for me. We're like, hey, look, that's how you do it, guys. Let's go. So, player-led team's better than a coach-led team. And, he's that guy that I point at and say, do it like him. And so it's hugely important to have him out there, to have him setting that standard. And he's gotten better at being more vocal. Before it was more of like, hey, look what he's doing. And now he's doing a better job of pulling other guys along.
I was a center myself in college, and I've coached the offensive line. And one of the most frustrating things is not having that kind of a good player, not having a not so smart player. You really want to have those smart players along the offensive line because you have to work 5 as one. And you talk about the complexities of coaching an offensive line and how they have to work as one unit.
Yeah, no doubt. There's so much of it is communication. So I tell them all the time, if we're going to be wrong together. Because what really hurts you is when these 3 are trying to work to this guy, these 2 are trying to work to this guy, and there's a guy in the middle that's unblocked. As long as we're wrong together and the communication all starts with a center and the complexities of all of that, you want to make it as simple. You want to make something that's a very complex process as simple as possible. And that's the secret of the game to me, no matter what position you're coaching, because you want those kids to not think and you want them to play fast. So really having a center up there and the way our system is built, and these guys have got a lot of reps together. They communicate well. They talk. They see a lot of the same stuff, and we keep it simple. They do a great job. Our deal going through the spring is we want to be the best. We want to be the best at taking notes in meetings of any team in the conference. We want to be the best at walkthroughs of any team in the conference. We want to be the best at practice of any team. Once you do those little things right, everything else will come. It's not just about winning games. It's about winning that meeting. Winning the walkthrough, winning on the practice field. And they take a lot of pride in setting those standards at being really good at meeting great, taking notes, asking questions.
It sounds like, this group obviously is going to be cohesive this year, and that's going to be super important because you have a quarterback battle brewing. So they're going to have to make sure they're on the same page with whoever's going to be starting, because whoever is starting has never started here before. So, kind of a two-way, pieces of the puzzle that really have to all fit together for everything to be successful.
Yes, no doubt. We are, we know that the guy behind center, we never know who it is right now because they're rolling quarterbacks. We don't know if it's the first guy, second guy, third guy. But what we're trying to do as an O-line is make their job as easy as possible, where they're not having to escape pressure, where they can depend on the run game and we can be run heavy so we're not putting as much pressure on that position so those guys can just go out and play.
Coach, talk to me about your 5 guys you have right now, and how many do you think you're going to have, not just by the end of spring, but hopefully before the fall?
Well, so the 5 guys that I have right now that come back from last year are playing well right now. Also, Jaquay Hubbard is having a really good spring. Jordan White is having a really good spring. Both of those 2 guys are rolling with the ones a lot. Malone is having a really good spring at left tackle. He's a guy, the thing about Malone is he can play left tackle, right tackle, left guard, right guard. The only thing he's not doing right now is snapping. And Jordan White can play both guards in the center. Jaquay can play tackle, can play guard. And that's what developing this offensive line over the past 3 years, I've really worked hard on making sure everybody's comfortable in right-hand stance, left-hand stance. As you notice, I've changed the tackles. Wyatt came in as a true freshman, had never played anything but the right side. I knew that he had the ability. I knew he was going to be there. But to make that move on him as a true freshman, starting the Big 12, I think it would be really tough. So I left him over there. And now, moving him and Yates and giving Yates reps at the right tackle, so he's not always pigeonholed into one point. I think that's big to be able to move these guys around. So we're really having right now. I feel like I've got 8 guys I feel good about, and we got some more guys. Tomas Rimac is coming along at the left guard spot. He's just hadn't had as many reps because he did redshirt last year. So I feel good about that. And as far as the center position, we're continuing to work on that and continue trying to develop that position as a backup.
Don't forget, you are watching Climbing the Mountain, sponsored by Encova Insurance, and circling you with coverage. All right, Coach, let's talk about James Gamitter, the grandpa of the group. I know we call him grandpa. You also have Doug Nestor, who played much of the season with a cast last year, started all season. Talk about the play of those two guys and the importance that they will bring to this season.
Gamitter had his past 2 practices, had really good practices. He's really turned into like you said, he's the old head in the room. But really, he's played less offensive line than everybody out there. He was a D lineman. Got recruited here as a D lineman. Played D line his first year, and we moved him over. So he's really played the position less than everybody else. But he's really coming on, really playing well. Works really hard. He and Zach in the weight room. They kind of battle for the strongest guys on the team, along with JJ. But really, those guys, he's had a really good spring. He's really working hard. And Doug Nestor, you saw him flourish after that cast came off. After the Baylor game, he really got much better toward the end of the season. And like he and Jordan White right now, they're battling. Jordan's playing really well. Doug twinged a hamstring, didn't get the first 2 practices. Really, his first practice was Saturday. So it's hard to judge a guy off his first time out there. First time out there, it's going to be, in full pads. But I feel good about those guys. I feel really good about them coming together and excelling from where we were last year.
Yeah, Coach, when you think about it, your offensive line is probably some of the oldest guys on the offense. And having these 3 quarterbacks that are all young, what are you telling your guys? What do you have to do to help them along?
What's crazy, you're talking about they're the oldest guys, and I've got really Gamitter could have he could have 2 more years if he wanted. Him and Doug both have 2 more. White's got 4 more. You got these guys they still got a lot of time to play, but we are the older guys on the team. But like what I tell my guys is I want them to be consistent. That's the biggest thing is you got to be consistent every single day as an offensive lineman. You can't be up here and then back down here. You got to be consistent every day. Some days are going to be bad. Some days are going to be good. What we can't have is terrible days and great days, right? There's a line you can't dip below as an O lineman. If you have a bad day, it's got to be here. It can't be down here. So we got to be consistent for these quarterbacks, because they're out there competing. And it doesn't matter if you're a first guy or a second guy right now. You got to make sure that you're being consistent and doing what you're supposed to do and to let these quarterbacks get out there and battle out. So we got to hang in there and be consistent.
How important is it to have a full spring for the first time in 2 years when you go into the fall?
I think it's going to be huge. I'm just getting the looks and the teaching. That's what it's all about, is getting the looks on film and being able to teach and watching these kids go out and compete. We had a great offseason as an O-line. The mat drills that we did in the offseason, that's usually where the O-line is really, everybody's like, because they're big guys and you're doing all these drills where you're moving and changing direction and there are a lot of conditioning involved. But really this group, they embraced it. They embraced the hard part of it, and I see that coming out in spring ball where I think they're just ready to turn loose. Like they're ready to go out there and have a tackle period where they can really try to finish blocks and do. That's the hardest thing in spring is you're still going to get your teammate. You come off the ball and you want to run them back and you're ready to bury them and you're like, I got to hold this guy up. We need him. You know what I mean? And it's hard to take that and flip that switch on and off. So sometimes I'd rather leave it on all the time than off all the time. So that happens sometimes.
Okay, my last question is, when I want to talk to young offensive linemen, I know what I like as a former offensive coach. What are you telling offensive linemen? What should they be training in? Should they be playing other sports?
No doubt, playing other sports is huge. Just from an athletic standpoint, you look at some of our best players. Some of my best players right now, if you're talking about the 2 All-Americans with Wyatt being a freshman All-American, he was a baseball player all the way growing up. He's got great eye-hand coordination when it comes to using your hands and playing. Zach being a wrestler growing up, he's got great balance and he plays with low pads and his hands inside, understands leverage. I think as much as you can get these guys to play 2 sports, that's big to me. And being an alignment, as you know, the number one thing is you got to be tough, you got to be nasty, and you got to be able to push through stuff when it's hard and when it's difficult. And that's the biggest thing is you got to be able to push yourself, and you got to be mentally tough to be a Power 5 offensive lineman.
All right, Coach Matt Moore. He's awesome as always.
He's tough.
He is tough.
I didn't say the coach. That's the play. That's the play.
All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time and good luck this season, and thank you so much. All right, coming up next on Climbing the Mountain, we are going to be joined by Garrett Green and James Gamitter. Stay with us. You're watching Climbing the Mountain, in part by Country Roads Trust. We'll be right back. This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to Climbing the Mountain. Now joining us in the studio is quarterback Garrett Green and offensive lineman James Gamitter. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
All right, Gamitter, first of all, you are a daddy again. Your little boy Atlas was born earlier this month. So what's it like to have a newborn, a toddler, your little girl Riot, and trying to, get football and academics and just life in general?
It's a lot, but I'm blessed to have a great wife who stays at home and takes care of both kids. On the aspect of managing everything, though, it gets a little rough. You got to have a good balance between home life and work life. And the coaches are luckily really, lenient with me. They understand what I'm going through. They understand the struggle that I can have sometimes. But they really are open to anything that happens, and as long as I communicate, they don't really care, which is nice. It makes the whole process a lot easier. So I'm blessed to have a good wife and great coaches to be around.
I'd imagine football is the easy part, right?
Yeah, football is definitely the easy part.
Nothing like going out there and hitting some guys and then going playing with the kids.
Yeah.
Hitting the guys, cradling his little boy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Garrett Green, what is good at WVU?
Oh, everything. It's been an unreal offseason so far. Great start to spring football, and we're fired up here at West Virginia.
Garrett, you are coming into this season. Your first year you played 2 games. Last year you played in all but 2 games. Just talk about your mindset going into this, knowing there's an all-out quarterback battle for that starting position.
Yeah, I think having the experience of playing 2 years definitely helps me. But it's a completely new offense, and just having to learn the nuances. It's similar to the previous offense, but there's so many different nuances that Graham has put in that I'm really excited to be in this offense, and I think if I just handle business, I think we'll be good.
Watching a little bit of practice, I sense that the long ball is going to be something big, that you're going to get a few chances to hurl it down the field. How have you adapted to the offense thus far? Because you're only in practice 3 so far.
Yeah, no, I think with Graham's offense, we're definitely going to take more deep shots and, give our guys like KP, Sam James, Bryce, we're definitely going to give them opportunities to go make plays on 50-50 balls, 30, 45, 50 yards downfield. And, really just, getting comfortable. We had 3 installs. So we had brand new installs, first time running them in 3 days, the past 3 practices. So I think these next Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday are going to be, better just because, constantly getting reps with these new plays and these new wide receivers.
James, talk about having all of the offensive linemen back and just that chemistry and what you hope to build on throughout spring practice.
Having all 5 back, it's a good thing. We're really close off the field. This is probably the closest group on the team that I've been around. I've been here since 18, and this is the first year that we've had everybody back for more than 1 year. So I think building off of that and the relationship we have off the field is going to play a big part in the success of this team. And I'm excited to see what this group does. Even beyond the starting 5, we have guys that can fill in roles, which is huge in the Division I football. Playing, I think I played close to 1,000 snaps last year. So having guys that can roll in and give us a break is a huge advantage. So I think it's going to be a good year for us.
What do you do off the field?
Cheer on the guys that are in. It's weird when you get off the field for a little bit just because you don't know really, you want to be involved. But the biggest thing is when we're off the field, in between drives, is cheering on the defense, making sure they get a stop. And then whenever they get the stop, getting ready to go, get the guys ready to go. And if you get a break, the biggest thing is watching your position and, watching the guys that are in. And if you see something that they did or see something that can help them out, make sure when they come off the field you tell them.
Garrett, talk about your off-season prep coming into spring ball. What have you been working on personally? I know Coach Brown said you put on some weight. So talk about your development, going into spring.
Yeah, for sure. I think the big emphasis this offseason for me was getting my body weight up to where it should be to be able to survive the whole season playing at least 11-5 Power 5 teams. So I'm up over 200 pounds now, and I can't say enough to how good of a job Haley, our nutritionist, and her staff has done, but also Coach Mike and all the strength staff have done to help me get my body in the best physical shape possible and up to the weight where I kind of need to be. But then, just getting more accurate, getting it better as a passer, because I've shown my ability to run, but, I just haven't been able really to show the ability to pass. But I think just, getting in on Saturdays with the wide receivers and throwing and stuff, just constantly working on the timing and the rhythm and, all the new routes and stuff.
Well, I'll tell you this. I did see him throw the ball this past week in practice, and you are checking it pretty good. That's some really nice balls. And I know we said the one that Sam James was pretty good on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Gamitter, I'm going to come back to you because I've watched you going from a defensive lineman and developing from kind of to an offensive lineman that started out using his head a lot, doing a lot of ramming.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always tough, you're always physical, never part of your game that wasn't there. But now you got some skill, man, offensively, and I can see you growing as an offensive lineman. What have you achieved?
No, I think one thing I achieved was I think I proved to myself that I could do it. Moving from defense to offense was a hard choice just because I was so hard-headed in high school and my freshman year that I wanted to play defense. I wanted to make tackles. I wanted to be on the big screen for getting a sack. But I think looking past that and joining the offensive line was probably the best decision I've made for my career. I'm fortunate to be around guys that I love. They'll be my brothers for life. But I think the biggest thing that I achieved was just self-fulfillment, like being able to show myself that I can do it.
Obviously, last year, a bit of inconsistency when it came to the offensive line performance. But you guys did pave the way for Letty Brown, who rushed for a second year over 1,000 yards. Talk about just kind of capitalizing on that and kind of taking that momentum into this season.
Yeah, I've said it before in interviews outside of here. After the Baylor game, we kind of all came together and decided what we wanted to do. That was really the turning point for us. It was either we're going to shut it down or we're going to keep working and fix it. And we ended up fixing it. And, building off of that, I think the sky's the limit for this team. Tony Mathis is going to be a great running back for us. Lynn J is going to be good for us. They're both home run hitters. And I think just building off of that, the chemistry that we have, it's going to be a complete 180 from last year. I don't think we should have a game like Baylor where we need to come together as a group and be like, what's going to happen next? What do we need to do? I think that Baylor game was the turning point for our unit.
I'd say it was. I can testify to that. Garrett, now you have a brand new offense.
Yep.
Brand new install.
Yep.
Brand new coach.
Yep.
What do you learn so far? What do you like?
I mean, I think Graham has an unbelievable personality. I think he's a great teacher of the game because he's been in our shoes. He's played quarterback at the highest level. He's played with Aaron Rodgers, so he's played with some great guys. So he's taken stuff from that Aaron Rodgers does, but stuff that he did at Tech. And he coaches us hard, but we know it's coming from a good place. That he just wants us to be the best possible. And the offense, you've seen his numbers at USC and stuff. They put up points, and I think that's a place where definitely as an offense recently we've struggled because our defenses have been really good the last 2 years. But we need to score more points, and every time we take the field this fall, we're expecting to score. We're not hoping to score. We're expecting to score the football and put up 6 points.
Talk about your psyche, Garrett, because you obviously, of the three quarterbacks, have the most experience coming back. So just talk about, what's going through your head and your mindset going into this spring practice.
Yeah, I think going against or getting this new install, it's similar to the previous one. So I think just having that previous knowledge of having 2 years in a system and then, kind of learning a new system where it's not completely different. There's a lot of carryover from Coach Brown's offense and Coach Parker's offense over to Graham's offense. So I think that's definitely helping me out right now just because so now I can just focus on, all right, going through my progression and stuff to where I'm not having to think about, oh gosh, what's this play or what am I supposed to do here, where it's kind of second nature to me at this point.
Yeah, Graham was left, right, left. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
The three-step drop?
For sure, yeah.
He was all that last week
Yeah.
In our podcast. But let's go back to you now, James, because obviously it is a new offense, but I have a feeling you guys have kind of the same communication and along the line.
O-line plays pretty simple, It's all the same schemes throughout any offense. The only difference was just terminology, like play-wise. We had, I think, probably 6 or 7, like, name changes, but other than that, the footwork and the technique's the same, so there wasn't much carryover for us.
All right, you're watching Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Encova Insurance, and circling you with coverage. All right, this is a question for both of you guys. What do you want the identity of this offense to be this season?
I think as a unit, as an offensive unit, our identity wants to be that, we're a high-powered offense, that we want to be that offense that the defense has confidence in. We're scoring 35, 40 points a game. Like we don't want to be the offense that defense had to bail us out all the time. We want to be that offense that defense they can have a game where they let up 35. We're as an offense, we're still going to take care of business and put up however many points we need to score.
Yeah, I agree with Garrett. I was here in 18 with Will and David and all those guys, and being on the sideline, they took the field and was like, all right, we're going to get 6. Defense is going out, we're going to stop, get 6. So I think that's what we really are going for this year, and I think that we can do it. No matter who's at quarterback, and with Graham's offense, this is going to be a good year for us.
Love the attitude. Let's talk about the passing game now.
Yep.
What are you finding? You only had 3 practices again, but what are you finding good in this passing game?
I think we're definitely getting plenty of one-on-one matchups downfield with our outside guys or our inside guys on their safeties. We're definitely finding those new matchups, and Saturday we made a lot of plays on those one-on-one matchups, and I think in his offense, if you watch games, like their guys have gone up and made plays because their quarterbacks have let them be wideouts, let them go downfield and catch the ball and catch touchdowns. So I think that's definitely been like the biggest, I don't want to say improvement, but the biggest, like, oh wow, like whenever we give our guys chances, they can go up there and make plays.
James, what are you just most excited about this upcoming season?
Definitely to watch the quarterbacks play and the wide receivers catch, kind of like what he just said. We're going to let our wide receivers be wide receivers. We haven't had that here a lot, and I think them being able to do what they do best is going to be the biggest advantage for us. And, I feel comfortable with anybody at quarterback that we have. I trust either all 3 of those guys. I'm just excited to see what this unit can do.
How hard is it for you guys to block out noise from fans when things aren't necessarily going your way?
Yeah, I think social media, Instagram, Twitter, everything, it can be a great thing to help connect people or help you stay, but also it can be it could be a little bit of a slippery slope. So I think like last season during spring ball, whatever, like I take basically every social media off my phone, and if there's a tweet that I need to see or something news, someone will send it to me. But I don't think it's something to where like you really need, whenever, because really the only opinions that matter are the guys inside of this building, and those are the only ones I care about. I love the fans; they're awesome. This is what makes this place special. But their opinions and stuff, really the only people that that opinions matter is the guys inside this building.
Absolutely.
You're right about that. And there's the only bad ones out there are just a bunch of crackerheads. You know what I'm saying? They don't mean a darn thing. But I got one last question for you, James. I want to know, of your brothers, including you, not who's the best, who's the nastiest?
Nastiest? I think that's a hands-down question. That's Frazier. That's definitely Frazier.
I don't know. I've been seeing you out there a couple times, and he kind of reminds me of a little bit of an Owen Schmidt. Out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen you bang your head off a helmet, but I think you've come close a few times. But anyways, I really been impressed at how you've been progressing. Garrett, this spring looks good for you, man. You look good.
Thank you.
You look sharp.
Appreciate it.
You're up there. You seem pretty much in good control.
Yeah. I mean, I feel in control of the offense. I mean, I'm confident in, I put the hours in off-season wise, getting my body right, learning the offense, learning the scheme and stuff. So I feel confident in my preparation, and now, it's time to go perform.
All right, let's talk about something a little personal with them. You said that your hidden talent, James, is that you can sneeze with your eyes open, correct?
I can.
I wish I could get you to sneeze right now. And Garrett, I'm so mad. I meant to bring a Rubik's Cube because you can solve it in under a minute.
Yeah.
That was a quarantine project, right?
Yeah, it was. It was, I don't know, it was one of those lonely nights in quarantine with my mom, and I was like, you know what? We're doing it. So I ordered like some speed cubes or something to solve it faster. I brought them in, and they came in, and then I started right away. So I don't really do it much because it's something that like once you do it, you're just like, all right, I can do it. But
Right.
I still got it in me.
That's awesome. You can read all about these guys on
Sneeze
their
with your
bio
eyes
pages.
open?
I know, right? I'm gonna.
I mean, I'm just trying to think about
I
it.
need you to like video that and
Oh,
send
I
it to
will.
us
I
sometime.
will.
That's amazing. You can read their
I have
bios at
eyewitnesses, so.
countryroadstrust.com, and you can follow them on social media. Garrett and James, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck
Yeah,
this
thanks for
season.
having us, guys.
Thank you guys for having us.
Absolutely. All right, coming up next, we're going to be joined by Brandon Yates and Doug Nestor. Stay tuned. You're watching Climbing the Mountain. This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to Climbing the Mountain. We are now joined by Brandon Yates and Doug Nestor. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
Nice,
having us.
nice to get off the practice field and maybe sit and relax in the studio for a minute.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right.
Liars. I know you would rather be eating a steak somewhere, because I know I sure would. But anyways, we're coming at you. We're gonna get some good questions, and I'm gonna let Mazey go first.
All right, yeah, because I have the always the tough questions. Let's just talk about the chemistry of this team. You guys are all coming back. Talk about the advantage of that going into spring practice. Doug, you can start.
Especially up front, that's like a big thing is cohesiveness. So to have everybody back again, and not even just us five, to have the first 8 or 7 deep is a huge advantage for all of us. We've got many reps beside each other, and right now I'm getting reps with Yates, and Minner's getting reps with Wyatt, and it's just forming a lot of cohesion.
Right now, I think we're like probably the closest group right now on the team. We hang out outside of football. You know what I mean? I love these guys outside of football. We do everything together. We plan on going. With summertime, we're gonna have we can get like a kind of like a house on the lake or something like that. Then do stuff like that. The whole line. I think the reason that we are gonna be so good next year is because we are so close right now. We're getting more reps with each other, getting more reps with different kind of guys. I think we're all, as a whole group, from top to bottom, youngest to oldest, I think we're all pretty close to each other. Like anybody can talk to anybody on the line. You know what I mean? I can talk to I'm like going to my 4th year. I can talk to a freshman that just came in, and he can come in, don't miss a step. I think that's to be the big difference between us last year and this year is our chemistry.
So with that, talking about that chemistry, what do you do when you actually get away from football? What do you guys do? Do you play games? You hang out? You shoot pool?
Mostly for us is we're always texting our group chat. So like we literally communicate 24/7 with each other. I mean, literally as soon as we first wake up, we're already texting in our group chat, and last thing to go to bed. I mean, it's just like we're talking all day, and then we'll meet up and go out to eat and stuff during our red card days or whatever.
I'm sure a restaurant loves to see all of you guys coming in. They're like, well, we better order some more food.
Oh yeah, we definitely get eyes for sure when you walk in
For
anywhere.
sure.
I bet you it's a buffet.
Oh, we went into Buffalo Wild Wings. Actually, we did because we have a football league together, and so the loser had to eat like the hottest wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. It was Dylan Ray. He lost it, and it went bad. He kind of like his nose was all runny, his face was red, he was
bad
crying.
deal.
Oh man.
You guys gonna do your teammates like that?
I mean,
to.
he lost.
He lost.
That's
Not
exactly
true.
right.
Glad I'm not a part of that group. I hate spicy food. What did you guys take away from last season that you want to repeat and don't want to repeat?
Last year I think one thing we need to work on is for sure is like consistency. I mean, some games like Iowa State, we came out there hot, physical, and we didn't miss a beat. Some games we just wasn't there all the way. I think one thing we need to work on is consistency, right? One thing last year we did really, really well was when we did get in tough spots, we didn't really like lay down. We always kept fighting. We're offensive line that's gonna keep fighting and keep on going every single time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Our consistency wasn't always the best last year, and it was a part of having a young O-line too. I mean, not everybody had the reps that other O-lines in our conference have had. So for us to have that whole year under our belt, and for that growth that we had, and then our growth that we're going to have during spring ball and fall ball, and especially going against the D-line we have, just that growth we're going to get right now is going to help us a lot during the season.
How much better is it to not have a cast on your hand?
Oh, it's so much better. It's unbelievable, especially just the second half of the season.
Night and day. And actually, you got the cast off right about the time that the whole offensive line started to come around.
Yeah.
Right after that Baylor there. So For you, Brandon, now you've switched over for the spring so far to right tackle. How's that going?
I think I'm getting better every single day. At first it was a little rough because I haven't played right tackle since like my sophomore year of high school, so it was a little bit of adjustment. But I think I am getting better every single day. You know, it's kind of like the opposite. You're doing the kind of opposite of everything. It's like just imagine right with your right hand your whole life, and then they go like, all right, cool, I go to the left side. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, you know how to write, but you know what I mean. You gotta go learn. It's going good though. I think it's gonna be a fun adjustment right now.
It seems like with talking with you guys and the other players we've interviewed, there's just a lot of positivity this year. Is that what you guys feel? Because I feel like we feel it when we're talking to you guys. Is that different from maybe years past?
Yeah. I've only been here for a year,
Right.
going on a year now. So when I first got here, yeah, the locker room was completely different. And, just to see the change that's made from the year that I've been here is like incredible to see. And, just like all the negative and all the noise and stuff has really stopped in the locker room, and all the, just the, I don't know.
Should I say it for
understand.
you?
I understand.
Should I say it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just more positive because people really want to be here.
Yeah. I was trying not to say the other people, but
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, we get
Yeah.
that. Brandon, do you feel the same way?
Definitely feel the same way. Since coming in here, I've been here, almost 4 years now. So, first year, it's very much was a divided locker room. Guys was clicked up and stuff like that. And those guys that was just there for themselves, was there for like, oh, I'm just here to go to the NFL. Not guys that want to be here to play football, here to really improve themselves, really improve this team to go to a place that like a championship, something like that. And right now, this team, I think everybody really has one main goal is to get a championship, and everyone wants to be the best player they can be. I think right now, I like this group. Like since I've been here, it's probably the best group. Everybody wants to be here. Everyone wants to work hard. It's probably like the best group for sure.
Mm-hmm. Doug, tell me this. And this could really be for both of you, but how do you block out the noise? How do you keep everybody else out of your inner right here?
I mean, really, like, all you can do is pretty much ignore it. We talk about it a lot that, during the season, if we didn't have a good game, the O-line would get crap for it or whatever. I mean, but we really just communicate here and, just talk about it here. We really just like our own therapists, just talk to the O-line as a unit, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, teammates can definitely be the best therapists.
Yeah, like Chris Berman always used to say, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, right? You can't let anybody else in because you're the team group. And I think that's where it really seems like you guys are at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So keep it going. Very good. Let me talk to you about this offensive line, okay? What is it that you guys are enjoying about the offensive line and working together as one unit? I've asked the other guys that have come on today, it's 5 parts working as one. What is it that you enjoy the most out of being an offensive lineman?
Not being selfish. It's a position like you're protecting somebody else the whole time. Like you're not doing anything for your own personal gain. You know what I mean? I'm not going out there. My main goal isn't to go score touchdowns. I want to watch somebody else succeed. I want to see another man succeed. You know what I mean? And I'm more of like a protector. You know what I mean? I like to go out there and protect other people. You know what I mean? It's fun like that. You get to go out there and see someone else succeed. It's always fun seeing somebody else be good.
I love that attitude. I mean, I love the unselfishness, and talk about the protection is going to be really critical this year because don't know who's going to be starting behind you at quarterback. Nobody has any starts under their belts. So, talk about the importance of your unit's role, especially when it comes to protecting whoever is going to be taking those snaps.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us to do for those younger guys that could be behind us are really give them a peace of mind, that we will protect them and be there for them every play. And, if something does go wrong, that we're always there to help them or lift them up. So that's really the biggest key for us as OL that we're trying to get across to them right now as well.
I don't know if you guys know this, but offensive lineman is the only sport, football, with the offensive lineman, the only sport that a position is created to protect the quarterback, protect the running back. Is the only position. You can't look at any other sport and find a sport that says that they were there just to protect. And it is something. So offensive linemen, I find them to be very gregarious guys, good guys, but mean guys at the same time. We know that you can be mean. Not like those defensive linemen, they're always, dirty. You know what I mean? Not like that. So when you go ahead and you are getting out there and you're working together, you're working as five, as one, and you're in the heat of the game, what is it that you love about playing offensive line?
I personally just love that, you get a chance to go out there every play and just try to dominate another human being. And, just like try to just put your will on them and just everything.
I think the best thing about being an offensive lineman is like you're stopping another grown man from doing what they want to do.
Oh, for sure.
They're running full speed to go do something they want to do, and you're the one stopping them. I think that's the best thing. And then put them on their back. That's a great.
Do you call that a pancake?
I call that money.
That's money?
That's money.
All right, I'll take it. That's money for sure. And that's certainly getting your fill. You know what? They sound like offensive linemen.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get at, the essence of an offensive lineman. It is dominating your will. I was one time as well. So do you like going offensive line blocking in the run or pass pro? What's your favorite?
Oh, run blocking for sure for me.
I'm kind of a fast feet kind of guy, so I kind of like pass blocking now. It's kind of fun.
That's perfect. We got one of each right here.
Yeah.
Were you a basketball player?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Doug, talk about your journey. You started your career at Virginia Tech. Now it's led you to Morgantown for West Virginia. Talk about just making a pivot like that in your career, in your academic career, and how hard it is, but how rewarding it is as well.
So you want the academic side or just overall?
Just overall.
Yeah. So came here, like I said, I've been here for a little over a year now. The transition is rough, coming into like a new school again, like WVU, but I was lucky. I was lucky to have, Grayson and Wyatt and Owen Chafin and people like that up here already. So I was very fortunate for that, but just the pivot of that, coming from another school, it's basically like you're a freshman again. And, you got to relearn the scheme, you got to relearn how they do things here. And, getting accustomed to everything like that was really difficult process, just going through last year. But I am definitely glad that I came back home and I'm back here with everybody.
Brandon, you've had 2 years you've played, both years. What do you really want to achieve this spring? What do you want to get better at that you know you need to?
I definitely my consistency. Last season it was more like I had a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I'm trying to really just level out and be more consistent. We don't want the lows to be too low. We want the highs to be too high. I really want to be very much a good overall offensive lineman going on through the spring.
You're watching Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast brought to you by Encova Insurance and circling you with coverage. All right, let's talk a little personal, because when I got your bios for our countryroadstrust.com website, you, Brandon, played the trumpet.
Yeah.
Still do?
I haven't played it in a while, but I for sure can get back on it for sure.
Something you've always loved?
So the crazy thing about that was in elementary school, our high school band came to the school and they played for us. And everybody was like in awe. It was like, oh my God, like they're the best people in the world. Like at that point I wasn't thinking about sports. But and then I wanted to play percussion at first, but everyone wanted to play percussion. And then my teacher was like, hey, you should probably play the trumpet. So I played the trumpet, and then I just got good at it. It just got fun. I play it now and then. My sister played the instrument as well. She played the cello, and we just played in the house. No to my parents, but they bought it, so that's kind of their fault.
Awesome. I think you should learn the national anthem and play it before a football game.
Oh yeah, I think I got that.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
I see more as jazz.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's true
slide.
too.
Yeah.
Little sudden slide.
Fans would go nuts over that. And Doug, you told me that you have a pet bird.
I do have a pet bird, cockatiel.
And you have it here in Morgantown.
I do not.
It's with your parents?
Yeah, it's with parents. I used to have it when I was at VT, but I haven't. Back in the house up here, I can't bring it up here.
How do you become a bird guy? Always liked them? Is this your first pet bird, or?
It's actually the second pet bird, but growing up, my mom would never let me have a dog or anything like that. So the next best thing was a bird.
I don't know. A loud, messy bird. What's his name? Her name?
It was Brutus.
Brutus.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Does Brutus repeat words?
A little bit, yeah.
You better watch your language then.
I know.
Oh, these guys are so soft-spoken. That's awesome. Well, Brandon and Doug, we appreciate you guys joining us on Climbing the Mountain. We appreciate your time, and we wish you all the luck and good continued success this season.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you so
coming
much.
up next, our final segment with Zach Frazier and Will Goose Crowder. That's coming up next on Climbing the Mountain. This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to the final segment of Climbing the Mountain. Joining us now in the studio is Zach Frazier, and we have Will Crowder, otherwise known as Goose. First of all, how'd you get that nickname, Goose?
Yes, ma'am. So I got it from just growing up. I always loved watching the movie Top Gun with my family, and I always loved the planes and jets and everything that came with it. And just Goose was my favorite character, and just kind of stuck with me. My brother called me it, and stuck ever since.
I love it. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite movies, too. And you have a son, Maverick, so we've
I
got all
do.
Top Gun theme in here.
Maverick and Goose, and I'll tell you what, man. He's out there. He's that Alabama boy.
That's
You
right.
can hear
That's
it in
right.
right there. He sounds like a young gentleman.
All right, well, first of all, Will, Goose, let's talk about you have one full season under your belt now. You played a little bit last year, but just talk about, going into this season, and you have one season of just seeing how things work, even though there is a new offensive coordinator. How do you feel about going into spring practice this year?
Right. Last season was huge for me, just kind of getting a year under my belt and kind of seeing how everything works and runs and all the ins and outs and everything. And I know we do have a new offensive coordinator, Coach Harrell, but he's doing a great job just learning the offense and picking it up. As far as spring ball goes, I'm having a blast just going out there and, giving my all every day. Yeah.
Zach, I got to first go to you about this. Fairmont boy, he just got All-American this year, Walter Camp. What's it like, and what has it meant to you just coming to WVU? I know this is what you wanted to do. Your whole family's WVU. And just, tell us how you're feeling, man.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's definitely special. Obviously grew up in the state, so I feel like because I'm doing it here, it just means that much more because I know what it means to the people here, and it makes it pretty special for me.
You moved from left guard to center before last season, so you have one full year of center under your belt. Talk about your mindset going into this season, knowing that you have that position under your belt.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm playing at a different speed now. Even when spring ball started, I just feel a lot more comfortable. Everything's just slowing down for me. I'm picking up on things that I didn't pick up before, so I just feel like it's coming along easier for me. So,
The craziest thing I've ever seen is your freshman year when you were at Oklahoma State game. Remember, you were playing guard.
yeah,
They had to move you to center.
Yeah.
And they moved you back to guard again as
Yeah.
a true freshman.
yeah.
That was a little wild, huh?
Yeah, that was definitely a little wild. Yeah. And then the week before, I had to play center, and it was kind of a sudden thing. So,
Goose, talk about just this battle for that quarterback position. Kind of fun out there right now?
Absolutely. We're all having a blast. Obviously it's kind of the elephant in the room that, the spot is up for grabs, right? But everybody gets along well in the room, and we all push each other, and, we just know that, the best guy's going to win. We're going to support him no matter what. So.
Talk about, though, there is that quarterback battle, but you have an offensive line that has experience, and you know that whoever is out there, when you're out there taking snaps, these guys, they got you.
Oh, they're going to take care of you.
Yeah.
That's for sure. There's some big boys up front, and, they do a great job at practice. Coach Moore has been working with them all season. This guy's been a great leader as well. But, yeah, they're going to take care of you when you're back there getting the snap for sure.
Zach, I asked Committer this question, and actually Garrett Green as well. Who's the nastiest on the offensive line?
I mean, everyone up front plays pretty nasty, I'd say, but and everyone has their certain plays where they're especially nasty, as you said. But,
Good nasty, right?
Yeah. I would say Doug or Gamitter, and both of them. Both of
Okay,
the
good
inside guys,
answer,
yeah.
but they said you.
Oh.
Nice try.
You can say yourself. It's okay.
I think
I
it
can't
came
say
about when you did in TCU the Frazier flip.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
us about that play.
Yeah, that play was a lot of fun. So it was in the end zone. Letty was right behind me. I just could feel the guy's balance, a little bit off, and I just felt the way he was going, and I took him the way he wanted to go, and I just kind of torqued him over with my hands. So
Little wrestling move there, huh?
yeah, it definitely it was all wrestling. Yeah.
And you did it more than once too. You did it against some Oklahoma State guys as well. But tell me about you're in 3 practices, 3 installations in,
Yes, sir.
and you have a brand new coach.
Mhm.
What has been the biggest change for you thus far?
Oh man, I feel like as far as the rhythm of practice has kind of been the same, but just like the intensity and kind of the coaching style that he brings is definitely, especially from a guy who's played the position, has kind of seen what you've seen and experienced what you're going to experience, and being a great quarterback like he was at Texas Tech, you kind of see where you want to go and things like that. But just that intensity that he brings and just the experience and knowledge of the position is really good, really good.
Goose, talk about your preparation in the off season. What did you do personally between that last game and the first practice of spring?
Yes, ma'am. So we had some downtime. So I went back home, saw my family, and a lot of running, a lot of early mornings up running and working out and just being with my family. But as far as preparation, always kept up on my film, weight room, nutrition, all those different things that just help you excel in the field. Just even did them even more and try to excel in them during the off season.
Can I just say I could listen to him say "yes, ma'am" all day with that accent.
I'm telling you,
I'm
he's
just
an
gonna
Alabama
repeat
boy.
that. Repeat that. It's so soothing. I love it.
Let's continue on with that. Now, how's the terminology been for you and the change in it? Is it tough? Is it easy? Is it the same?
Right. So I like to kind of put it as in like you're kind of learning a new language in a way, but it's a lot easier just because it's kind of the same system. So there are different ins and outs and everything, but kind of the same I don't know, principles and stuff like that are still there, but the foundation is definitely there. But little tweaks here and there that kind of add some spice and flair in the offense and stuff like that. But it's been really nice. Yeah.
Zach, Coach Moore said that you've always been a leader with your actions, but now you're a more vocal leader. Is that intentional on your part?
Yeah, I would say, when I first came in, I didn't speak much. I was a young guy, and I just kind of, put my head down and went to work. Now I feel a lot more comfortable, and now since I'm more of an older guy in the room, I can talk now and kind of lead more vocally. So, yep.
So, when you go ahead and make calls, right, has that changed at all, or do you just give a grunt?
No, oh yeah. The guys that up front, sometimes I don't even have to make a call. So especially going against our defense sometimes because our defense knows the calls too. So we don't want to say it out loud. I just look to them. I know that they know we're on the same page even, and I don't even have to say anything sometimes. But yeah, when I have to make calls, yeah, it's easy. So
I asked James the same question that there was a bit of inconsistency when it came to the O-line play last year, but you guys did pave the way for Letty Brown to run for over 1,000 yards again. Talk about taking that momentum into this season and just building on that.
Yeah, everyone that we had last year, we have returning. So definitely at times last year it wasn't, our standard, but I feel like we know what we have to fix and we know how to fix it and we're going in the right direction. So
5 guys working as one, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yep.
Well, let's talk about Graham Harrell. What's good about Graham Harrell in this offense? What are you excited about?
Man, his first thing that I'm really excited about was when he first got here. He had a offensive unit meeting, and he kind of eased the tension. He was got guys. I know I'm new here, but we're gonna have a lot of fun, and we're gonna put up a lot of points, and we're gonna have fun doing it. And that's kind of stuck with me in the back of my mind. It's like every day when we go out there to practice, like we're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna score a lot of points, and we're gonna throw the ball, and we're gonna light it up on the scoreboard. So I'm really excited for that.
You're watching Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Encova Insurance, and circling you with coverage. Will, just talk about the excitement going into this for you personally. You're a young guy. You're competing for a job, but just the excitement of being a part of this right now.
Absolutely.
Because I can feel it. Like you're just kind of bouncing around, and I can really just feel your excitement.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I'm super excited. Super excited. Spring ball is really, Coach Brown says it all the time. We're gonna be 0-0, no matter what, but we're gonna, take steps in the right direction for sure. But I am super excited. Just being out there as a young guy, like you said, just still taking snaps, still learning, and experiencing things for the first time, and just kind of maybe the game slowing down through spring ball, and just snaps definitely don't hurt. So,
Zach, let me ask you a question. Do you ever get tired of blocking Dante?
It gets,
I mean, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Fairmont, you going up here to WVU?
Yeah, I mean, I had to block him in high school. I come up here, I have to block him again. So yeah. We've definitely had our battles over the years. So yeah, definitely.
You know,
Very good.
Coach Moore talked about this, like, you know, having to flip that switch because you got to go hard in practice, but not so hard that you're injuring, you know, guys on the other side of the ball. So, you know, is it hard not to go maybe 100% like you want to? Like, is it hard to flip that switch?
Yeah, I have a switch, and it's not too hard for me to flip it. So I feel like whenever I'm between the lines, that's when it gets flipped. So and as far as going in practice, like I always go full speed, but you know sometimes you don't want to like land. You never want to like land on top of your guys or do anything that you would do in a game. So that's kind of like where I pull up in practice. Is like I'm never gonna. If I put someone on the ground, I'm not gonna, you know, dive on top of them. So
Right. Well, that's a good thing.
But you do with the teams with the opposing uniforms.
absolutely,
I've seen it.
absolutely.
anybody not wearing blue and gold.
Right.
All right. Well, fellas, both of you, I want to talk to you about this. What's the positivity of the team? Where do you see it? Where do you feel it? Where do you know it?
I guess I'll go first. You know, I feel like this year, you know, everybody is kind of really hungry. You know, we have a lot to prove. You know, we're a young team, but we still have a lot of old guys too. So we have a really good nucleus of just, you know, leadership, a lot of positive vocal guys. We're excited to go out there every day to practice, and we're definitely moving in the right direction. Definitely.
Yeah, I would say everyone has the right mindset that's in the locker room right now. You know, previous seasons, I would say there maybe was, you know, some negative voices in the locker room, but I'm not feeling that this spring. I'd say everyone's, you know, on the same page. Everyone's working hard and really working to that common goal.
Yeah, just take that next step for sure.
Yeah.
When people are talking about this offensive unit come the fall, what do you hope they're saying about it? What do you hope your identity is?
Hopefully we're putting up a lot of points on the board. So that's the end goal is scoring points. So hopefully that's what they're talking about is scoring points. So.
Yeah, explosive.
Yeah.
Explosive. Just, you know, especially, you know, on offense, all 11 guys got to be on the same page. You know, everybody's got to do their job at their position. So, you know, you want all 11 guys, you know, moving as one. When, you know, one team, one goal, everything like that. So hopefully, you know, we're putting up a lot of points and having fun doing it.
Zach, you're into woodworking, so do you get to get away and do that a little bit? I know I've talked with you about that in the past, but that's kind of a hobby of yours. That's really cool.
Yeah. Over the break, I got to finish the desk I was working on with my grandpa. So
I think I interviewed you last year.
You
were
did.
working on that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I just got it finished up. So
Well, that's
I actually have it up here in Morgantown now. So
nice.
Yep.
Well, you have any hobbies besides football?
Fishing.
Nice.
You know, I'm
Alabama
picked up.
boy.
I've, you know, this probably don't help, but I
disc golf.
Disc golf, yeah,
Yeah.
big disc
Yeah.
golf. And then I just got a guitar for Christmas, and my brother knows how to play, so it's an acoustic. I've been picking it up, trying to find enough time, even though football takes up a lot of it. But
You always have to have those hobbies to get
Right.
away from it.
Absolutely.
So, well, good. Well, Zach and Goose, we appreciate you guys joining us on Climbing the Mountain, and we wish you continued success this season. These are great guys. Great
Yeah,
interviews.
absolutely. I really
Fired up.
I really like the positivity that I'm
Yeah.
feeling here. I really do, and I think that's going to go far for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Keep it up.
Thanks for
Well,
having us.
Yeah,
thank y'all.
anytime.
Thank y'all for
Anytime.
having
We
us.
love it.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us on Climbing the Mountain. This is the second of 6 episodes. Next week, we are talking defense. Flip it to the other side of the ball. Don't forget, you can visit us at countryroadstrust.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we appreciate you watching. This has been Climbing the Mountain, sponsored by Encova Insurance. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Climbing the Mountain, presented to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance.